Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. This is going to be the first video of the 2024 season here on YouTube. So it's gonna be a chatty one. Think of it as a talk with a friend, where you haven't seen each other for a couple of days or a couple of weeks and you want to catch up, you want to share what's new in your life, what are your plans for the year. This video is going to be exactly that. I'm going to tell you what I've been up to and also what I plan and what I envision for 2024. So I suggest you go ahead, you grab a cup of coffee, cup of tea, matcha, cold drink, maybe a snack, and we're gonna get started. First of all, if you're new here or you have recently subscribed to my channel, hi, hello, welcome. My name is Flor. I am a content creator based in the beautiful, amazing, crazy city of New York. I post vlogs on this channel. I also talk about my life as a content creator, as an influencer. I share all the events that I get to attend. New York Fashion Week. I also talk about the behind the scenes of being a creator, like for example, what my streams of income are and how much money YouTube pays me. And I also talk a bit about, I would say, bits and pieces of my personal life. I am a new mom. My daughter Julia is 1 year old. And I also like talking about the books I read or other things that I enjoy during my free time. So if you haven't subscribed already and this video just popped into your suggestions or your homepage on YouTube, go ahead, hit the subscribe button down below, hit the notification bell so you can get notified of every time I upload a new video during 2024. Today, and as we usually do on the first video of the year and as we did in 2022 and 2023, we are going to do a life update. I want to talk a bit about Vlogmas. I also want to share what I've been doing since I posted that last video on December the 25th of 2023. And also we are going to be talking about my plans for the year. I also ask you to send in some questions to do a Q&A part on this video. So now that you know what this video is going to be about, let's get started. First of all, Vlogmas. So maybe you are watching this video and you discovered my channel during Vlogmas. If that is the case, hi, hello, and welcome again. So this is something that I really wanted to do for so many years. You might know this or not, but I have a YouTube channel in Spanish that I started back in 2015. And the max amount of videos that I posted on YouTube, I think it's been around 4 a month or maybe 6 or 8. I'd never done what I did in December, which was posting 12 videos in a span of 25 days. This was ambitious, it was crazy, but it was something that I wanted to do. So I had like 3 main goals, I would say, behind Vlogmas. Goal number 1 was actually prove myself that I could do it, that I could actually film, edit, and post in this very tight timeline, which meant I was basically working every single day of the week, no weekends, no anything. I was not sleeping a lot, working lots of hours. It was a challenge, but it was a challenge that I wanted to take. It was something that I wanted to do, and I'm happy that I managed to get through it and I posted every single video that I wanted to. The second reason why I wanted to do Vlogmas, and I'm happy it worked out, is that I wanted to reach a new audience. My channel is a small channel. We have around 5,500 subscribers, but of those subscribers, around 100 or 120 were new subscribers that discovered the channel in December. So I'm guessing some of you saw some of my videos, maybe the one that we did with Chantal or some other, and you found my channel, and I'm happy about that. So I would say in terms of reaching a new audience, Vlogmas also worked out. And the third reason why I wanted to do Vlogmas was because I wanted to enjoy the city and have fun. I always say that New York City is probably the best place to be during the holiday season because everything and everywhere and everyone goes all out for Christmas. So you have all the decorations, all the Christmas trees, everything that I showed you during Vlogmas. And I wanted to be able to document that, to record as many videos as I could, to take all these photos and have content, of course, but at the same time, go to all of these places that had been on my bucket list for many years that I wanted to visit and basically have fun, enjoy this season, even though it was work, of course. I wanted to really savor the holiday season because it goes by really fast. So I was really happy to actually visit all these places, do a lot of plans with Julia and with Tom, my husband. So overall, I would say that the whole Vlogmas experience was really positive. Not gonna lie, I was very stressed during this whole like 25 years and pretty relieved once it was over. But I also have to be honest that I enjoyed it, I had fun, and I am really, really happy that I did it. Now, if you ask me, would you do Vlogmas again this year? I would say I don't know. I mean, I think it's like a big TBD. We'll see when the time comes. We'll see where my head's at in December of this year. So I think it's a big unknown, but I'm happy with Vlogmas of 2023. And I hope you all enjoyed it as well. Now I'm talking about the life update. I would say there's nothing really big going on, but there are some things going on in my life that I wanted to share with you all. So I posted my last video on December the 25th, so Christmas Day, and I didn't actually get to share anything about Christmas, but we had a really nice day. It's a very like family day, very intimate for us. It's just Tom and Julia and Oreo and me, so our little family of 4. We got matching pajamas again, the same as we did last year, so we took this like beautiful photos that we can have as memories and as something to remember for upcoming years. Where I come from, we don't usually do anything about pajamas. That is not something very popular, but I do know it's popular here in the US. So we actually got pajamas as gifts in 2022, and I bought a new set of 3 for 2023, so we could do like a new edition and then wear these pajamas throughout the year, and then we'll get new ones the next holiday season. I feel like it might be like something silly or cliche, but I love doing this. I love that this is our holiday tradition in a way. So the days between December the 25th and December the 31st, I would not say they were a blur, but they were pretty chill. I really wanted and needed to rest after running around through town during Vlogmas. So that's what I did. I really took it like very easy, very calm, not much going on if I have to be honest. Same with the New Year's, we stayed at home. Having a toddler, they usually go to bed around like 7:30. So it's not like you can do like a whole lot of things after 7 or 7:30 unless you get a nanny, and we didn't want to get a nanny just for that night. So we stayed home, we had a lovely dinner. At 12 we said Happy New Year and then went straight to bed. And the first few years of 2024 were actually about the same. I really took the week between Christmas and New Year and then New Year and my birthday off of work. So even though I was like uploading stories or reels or bits here and there on Instagram, I was pretty much off social media, not posting here on YouTube, not answering to emails. Not that I was getting that many emails, everyone was off work. I feel like they were like really 2 great weeks to relax, to disconnect, and to reset. And if you didn't do that this year, maybe it's a great idea for next year if you can and if your work allows you to take those weeks off. I feel like it really sets you in the best mood for the New Year's. Then January 7th was my birthday. I really like my birthday being at the beginning of the new year. I always say that because I feel like it's a new year and then a new year again for me. So it's like they're together and I feel like, okay, now the year is really beginning once my birthday is here. So I like that. As usual, we went to Central Park. That has been my go-to plan since living in New York City. I don't know, Central Park is my favorite place in New York, and being there January 7th is usually pretty chill, pretty relaxed. Most of the people that are visiting the city during the holidays have already left, so it's not as crazy, it's not as busy. We sometimes get snow. We didn't get quite a lot of snow this year, just like a few little flurries here and there, but that was enough for me. It was a good plan, a good day, and we ended up having dinner in the restaurant that's inside of Central Park called Tavern on the Green. We had been there like 6 or 7 years ago during summer, and now we had the opportunity of being there and having dinner during winter and also with Julia. So it was overall a really, really good day. And from that point on, I've been like slowly getting back to work, setting my goals for the year, started sending emails, answering to emails. Last week I had my first event of 2024, and this week I am already reaching out to brands because New York Fashion Week is less than a month away. So getting back into work, getting back into the swing of things. And also we got a proper snow. I I need to mention this. We got our first real snow here in New York City in 2 years. So it snowed yesterday, and it was what is called a measurable snow, which means that at least 0.1 inches of snow accumulated. That is measured in Central Park, which if you don't do inches, because I don't, 0.1 inches is 25 millimeters of snow. So really like this much, not that much snow, but we hadn't gotten that tiny amount of snow like accumulated on ground in 2 years. 2 years. So really happy that we got a proper snow day, that Julia was able to like see the snow for the first time, even though she's like still very, very young to actually like understand what's going on. At least we got to take some cute photos, some cute videos. And that brings us to today and now filming this video. So I think that's basically everything for the life update. Although there's one more thing that's coming up that's kind of huge that I will talk about later on this video. Now we are going to be moving on to the Q&A section of this video. I asked you to send in questions that had to do with plans and goals for the year if you could, and you really delivered. You sent in some great questions and I picked 3 of them to answer on today's video. So the first one was, what are your goals for 2024 for the new year? So this year I literally went all in and I made this big list of goals. I know that it seems like there's a lot of them, but I really wanted to make this list to be clear on what my goals are, on what my plans are, and how to work towards them. I know I've redacted some of the items on this list for privacy reasons, sensitive information. If and when possible, I will share the whole list, but this is basically what I set up for myself for 2024. And you'll see that I did like different sections and different areas where I want to change or improve, or maybe keep on doing what I've been doing for quite a few days or weeks or months. So I've been doing goals for the year and a word for the year and all that for many years. If you've been following me for some time, you might remember that I used to do my year on my blog where I would talk about travel and health, overall wellness and relationships and work, and I would set up my goals for the year. I think I started doing that right before the pandemic and then a few years after, and then I felt like maybe the format did not work with my life as much, and then I admit that being pregnant and then being a first-time mom, last year I was like in survival mode. I know that this might sound crazy, but really I was like just trying to do my best to adapt to this new life, to these new responsibilities, to these new challenges. So I did not plan much for last year, but this year I feel like I know a lot better what I'm doing when it comes to being a mom, which is like a new role that I've taken on. And I feel like my work-life balance is better and that I can handle better being a mom and also being a working mom or a person that works. So that's why I did this whole list of goals for this year. But also I did this big, huge list because about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I started reading and seeing on like Instagram and TikTok and basically everywhere, everyone talking about the 12-week year, which is a method that comes from a book that was actually published in 2013. So I don't know if I've been living under a rock or what, but I cannot believe that I just found out about this method and this book just like 3 weeks ago. Well, anyways, I found out about this book and this method. I haven't read it yet. I ordered the book, but it got delivered just yesterday. So whatever I say, just understand that it's what I've read or what I've listened, but not exactly what I've seen on the actual book. But what this book proposes is that you imagine what your life would look like, your ideal life would look like. Then you think about, okay, what things do I need to do or accomplish in like 5 or 10 years for my ideal life to look like this? And then you go back and you're like, okay, what do I need to do this year for my life to be like XYZ in 5 or 10 years? And then you say, okay, what do I need to do in the next 12 weeks, meaning the next quarter, in order for my life to look like what I imagine? So the idea basically behind this is that if you set up goals for your whole year, sometimes it's hard to dissect them and actually work on them on a day-to-day basis, versus if you set up goals for just a quarter, which means 12 weeks or 3 months, then you know that 3 months goes by like really fast. So you need to actually work on them every single day and every single week. So that's how you make changes happen versus setting out goals for the year when you're like, okay, it's January, I can do them like next month and then next month and then October, November, and you're like, oh wow, I did not do any of my goals. So I want to read more about this book and want to know more about this method. So I won't talk a lot about it now, but I wanted to mention it because I set out these goals for my new year, thinking about this and thinking about things that I've been wanting to do for a really long time and that I plan out in January and then I don't work on them enough for them to become a reality. And then December comes and I feel like I'm just writing the same goals like year after year. So I feel like maybe this is the year. This is finally the time when I get to actually work on the things that I want and things that I plan and the life that I want in like 5 or 10 years. So maybe you're watching this and maybe this is like the signal for you to maybe do the same and set up these plans for 2024. Look into the 12-week year method and yeah, we'll maybe talk about that in a later video. Another question that I got was, how do I organize my work year? And if I decide at the beginning of the year that I want to work with certain brands or go to certain events. So I would say that I plan out my year between a combination of Notion and Google Calendar paper planners. I would say a mix of all that. And it's not that I decide beforehand that I want to work with certain brands or certain projects or do certain events, but more of like a broad idea. Like I would want to do a certain amount of collaborations throughout the year, or I would want to make a certain amount of money throughout the year through collaborations with brands, or I would like to work with brands on this sphere or this category because I feel like they align with the type of content that I do. It's more like an idea or a vision, but then as the year goes by and as certain things happen, you might end up working with certain brands that you didn't imagine, or maybe you end up working with the brands that you envisioned. So I would say it changes. I think it's more about setting goals for yourself, the things that you want to do, you want to accomplish, rather than maybe specific brands. You can always like reach out to brands and pitch them, but personally for me it's more about like topics and ideas and things I want to do, but not like very specific. Hope that makes sense. And the third question that I wanted to answer, and I thought this was a really good one, was what do you do when things don't work out, when you have goals for the year, when you have plans and they just don't work out? So I would say that my reaction really depends. Sometimes I take it very well and some other times I get very frustrated. So I don't know if I have like a perfect answer for this. What I try to do whenever I set out like on a mission that I want to do something, that I want to achieve a goal, is that I try to think first of all whether or not that's within my reach and my capabilities, or if it's up to someone else. Let's say you want to get to a certain amount of subscribers on YouTube. I feel like you have some power over that because you can put out consistent content, good quality content, but then there are a lot of things that you cannot control, and if people end up subscribing or not, it's basically trying to control someone else's will. So I feel like you need to figure out which things are within your control and your power and what things are not. Then if something doesn't end up happening or working out, I try to think whether or not when I'm like revisiting those goals at the end of the year, if I really want to do them. I feel like sometimes we set up goals which reflect the person that we are at the beginning of the year or at the beginning of the quarter, and then when we revisit those goals that we didn't accomplish 3 months after that or a year after that, we realize we really don't want them anymore, or we realize that the person that wrote down those goals is not the same person that you are now, and that they don't align with your new version of you. So I also try to see if I really still want those things accomplished or not, and if it's really like worth my time getting frustrated or getting sad about something, but maybe I don't really want it anymore or as much as I wanted it like 12 months ago. But other than that, I feel like it's good to keep on balances on yourself, to measure what you're doing. There's this quote somewhere that it's like, what is not measured cannot be changed. change or something like that, which basically means that if you want to change something or if you want to improve something and you do not set out a specific plan to do that, and if you don't track what you're doing or what you're not doing, then maybe you don't know what failed. Getting back to this example of getting an X amount of subscribers, you're like, okay, I want to get like 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And then you're like, okay, what do I need to do? I need to post every single week. And if you don't do that plan, and then if you don't check if you actually uploaded a new video every single week, and if you don't know if that was like a good video or not a good video, when the end of the year comes, if you're not able to really track what you did, you cannot say, okay, I uploaded every single week and it didn't work, or I have no idea if I uploaded a video or what that video was about because I was like not really tracking, or I didn't set up any plan. So I don't know if I had done this, then that other thing would have happened. I hope it makes sense. I feel like I'm very philosophical today. I'm like I am like reflecting on a lot of things, and I feel like that's maybe what you do at the beginning of the year. But yeah, what I mean is get frustrated, get angry when you don't achieve your goals. But if you really want them, get to work. Keep yourself accountable, track the things that you're doing, the things that you're not doing, and then reroute and then pivot if you need to and start all over again. If you can't stop dreaming about something, then don't stop working for that thing. And now for the last part of today's video, we are going to be talking about the plans for this channel, for YouTube for 2024. So as I mentioned before, I did this type of video in 2022 and 2023. So I went back and watched the one that I posted around this time last year, and what videos I said that I was going to post on YouTube in 2023. I did some of them, but I realized there were 3 topics that I mentioned at the beginning of the year and then I actually never delivered throughout the year. And these were apartment updates, apartment tours of friends' apartments, and then book to movies or TV shows adaptations. So I wanted to talk about those 3 things first, especially since we have just talked about setting up goals for yourself and then not accomplishing them. So when it came to books to TV shows or movie adaptations, I've been toying with that idea quite a lot, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it, to be honest. I feel like my book recommendations videos have become less and less popular in the past couple months or the past year, and I feel like maybe it's something that most of my audience doesn't really enjoy watching, which is totally fine. So I feel like I end up doing most of those videos for myself and for like keeping a record of what I'm reading and then sharing that with the group of you that actually enjoys watching them. So I really didn't know how to do this new series, and I was like, is this really going to work? So for now, I would say that I shelved that and we'll see if it happens during 2024. I don't know. I'm not sure. Now, when it comes to apartment updates, I actually said that I wanted to show you like bits and pieces of this apartment, and I didn't do that. I kept postponing filming, and then I actually filmed some, and then I didn't edit them. So that's on me, definitely. But what I have to say, and you're getting the scoop on this, is that we're actually moving. So the lease for this apartment is up in a few days. So we will be moving out of this apartment. We've lived for the past 2 years, and I'm going to film an apartment tour, a full apartment tour, as I usually do once we move out of an apartment. You are the first ones hearing about this. I have not shared this anywhere else. So even though those apartment update videos didn't happen, there is an apartment tour video coming soon, probably during January or February or maybe March, and you'll get to see everything about this apartment that we currently live in here in New York City. And then apartment tours of friends' apartments. That is something that I've been wanting to do for a whole year, and I reached out to so many people during 2023, and I didn't manage to actually set up a date to film with anybody. Either people were moving apartments, moving countries, they said they want to be a part of this, and then they were like, oh, I don't want to be in front of the camera, which I totally get, especially if your job doesn't involve being a camera most of the time. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna get frustrated. I'm gonna keep on working on this. And actually, next week, I'm filming my first friend's apartment tour. So I'm really happy about that. So it's a video that you're gonna be seeing soon, and hopefully just the first one of a series that I get to do throughout 2024. So apart from that, what else is coming to my YouTube channel in 2024? So I would say some of the usual you're gonna be seeing on the channel this year as well. I have not been reading vlogging as much as I did in the past, but there are probably going to be a couple of book recommendations videos coming up. Maybe 2 or 3 during this year, not every single month, but there will be some of that for the ones watching this video who actually enjoy book recommendations. I am also going to be doing vlogs. I know that most of you really like the vlogs in and around New York City, so I plan to do more vlogs of life as an influencer, as a content creator, but also showing you more of the city as I did during Vlogmas. That's also the plan for this year. I also want to talk more about content creation, so I am probably going to do a video about how much YouTube paid me in 2023, but I also want to do more about the behind the scenes. I would love to know what you want to know about the life of content creators, the life of influencers. I've shared quite a lot about what I do and the struggles and the good things and the bad things, but if you feel like there's something that you'd still like to know and that I can shed some light, let me know down below in the comments what else you would like to know about the life of an influencer or the life of a content creator, especially here in New York City. I'm also thinking about doing more fashion trends videos. I did one at the end of last year talking about fall trends. I had a lot of fun doing that video and I feel like most of you really liked it, so I might be doing another one for spring and then for summer. And I'll also probably do more videos about pregnancy, about motherhood. I feel like those videos perform well on my channel. I feel like when you're going through that stage of life, hearing someone else that has gone through that or is going through that is really helpful, so that's probably why a lot of people watch them, and there will be more coming in 2024. And then I have like 2 topics that I've been thinking about maybe doing. You let me know what you think. I want to do maybe like a whole review of this 12-week year book, the ideas in them, similar to what I did with Atomic Habits about like 2 years ago. That could be an idea. And I've also been thinking about sharing more about how I plan my week and my month, you know, like showing you my Google Calendar and how I organize that and how I use Notion, maybe a walk through my Notion, or what other apps I'm using for to-dos or reminders or things like that. Let me know if that is something that you would like to see. I definitely think that I plan quite a lot and I love planning and having apps that help me hold myself accountable, so maybe that is something that you're interested in seeing and I can do videos about that, of course. And now with the sun setting, as you can see behind me, we are getting now to the end of this video. This is basically all I wanted to share in this life update. I feel like it was a long one. I told you at the beginning it was going to be a long one. Hope you like me sharing what's been going on in my life and what I plan and envision for 2024. Maybe I gave you some ideas of what you can do to plan your year as well. I would love to now hear your part. You know, I mentioned at the beginning that you should imagine that this is you talking to a friend and catching up with a friend. So now you're the other friend, and I would love for you to leave a comment down below if you want, letting me know what's been going on in your life, how you ended 2023, how you started 2024, what are your goals for the year if you want to share them, what tools you're using to get to those goals, what methods you're using, what things you recommend that I do, what things you'd like for me to talk about on my YouTube videos this year, or for me to do different or new. Any comment, any suggestion is welcome. And with all that being said, I'm going to say goodbye. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below, hit the notification bell if you're still not subscribed to the channel, and I will see you on the next one as we usually do. Bye!